Well, today you're getting a bonus video. Had time to squeeze one in before we head out this evening for New Year's Eve. And you see I got a jacket on right now. I'm in the warmest spot in the continent down here, well, in the continental U.S., down here in the Keys. And it's supposed to get down to, I think, 62 degrees tonight. And of course the sun is just now setting. I'll make it up here, you can still see it. It's over there. But that wind blowing, it's going to make it feel like it's probably in the high 50s. So we'll be walking Duval Street in Key West, so I want to make sure I stay warm. Had another person get a hold of me and ask me when they start in the rental properties, what's one thing that you would advise for people to do? Well, when I first got into it, I think it was my second rental I bought, and I was talking to the next door neighbor, well, the owner, and that was a rental for him. And we were just bullshitting, and he said the worst thing about rentals is when your taxes and insurance is due. And from day one, when I bought mine, what I did was I made a separate savings account at one of my banks I bank at, and every time I got rent money, excuse me, I figured out what each house, the taxes and the insurance was per year, and then I divided that by 12. There's a no-sim or something. And what I did was I would subtract that much out of what that rent from that house gave me, and I'd take that amount of money and put it in the account, and that way when your taxes and insurance was due, you had the money waiting on you. And get back in there. See, my dog knocks. He's being nosy. Get back in there. Get back in there. Go on. I'm recording. But I was telling the old man that's what I did, and he goes, I never thought about that. That would make it so much easier instead of having to scrape together all the money for the month, that you make that month to pay all your property taxes and your insurance whenever they come due. But that's one thing I did that makes it easier. And the thing is, you have to be disciplined. I've told other landlords that that's what I do. I've always done it. And a lot of them, they're not disciplined. They said they would spend the money, but that's the thing. You can't spend the money. You have to let it sit there. Like in Ohio, our taxes is due in February, and then the second half is in June. And then your insurance is based on whenever you got your policy for your house. So for a fact come February and June, you're going to have your first half and your second half. And I always pay them by the half. I don't pay the full year. But that's something I did, and a little bit of a helpful advice to people starting out, instead of trying to scrape it all together at one time or using your entire income for the month to get everything paid. It's just set it aside, but do not spend it. I'll show you guys something while we're out here. Now I'm on Sugarloaf Key, which is where this KOA is. Now I'm going to turn around here. Now, do you see this blimp way up there? Let me use the other side of the camera. I'm going to show you guys this. This blimp is always up. And I was listening to the radio, and I looked at one of the websites, and this blimp is used by the Navy, well, the military, and I guess the National Weather Service kind of uses it, but the Navy uses it, and they got radar and stuff in it. And that's kind of wild because they got a radar right there at the Naval Air Force Base on I think it was a Boca Chica Key or whatever key it's called out there. It's one. It sits in between Stock Island, which is next to Key West, but it was just kind of wild to see that. And like I showed you guys, the sun was already going down here because it is, I think it's about 5 o'clock. Then you'll see the moon up over there. But I will say that since the sun's going down from this morning when I made my video, it gets chilly. You don't have that sun hitting you, and that's wild to be that cold down here. Up on the mainland, they had iguanas falling out of the trees because it gets so cold, and of course them being reptiles, they're not dead, they just freeze up and then they fall down. They go into like a numb state. But no, with the rentals, that's one thing I did. But like I said, you have to be disciplined with that. You can't spend it. You just got to put it in there every month. You subtract that out of your, off, take it out of the rent money and throw it in the account, let it sit there. And when the bills are due, that's what you do. I wouldn't say do that with a mortgage if you got a mortgage on a rental property or whatever, because that comes out every month anyway, so you're not going to need it. But just a little helpful advice. Somebody starting out, it's all learn from your mistakes. But I picked up a lot of my stuff off of older landlords. Matter of fact, one of the landlords that I knew when I was a kid, and he seen me getting into it, and he said that the easiest way I can tell you being a landlord is if you're a man, be an asshole. If you're a woman, be a bitch. You can't be nice about it. It's a business. You got to treat it like a business. And of course, friends and family, they're the first ones that'll screw you. That is a fact. I mean, I've had other people screw me I didn't know, but you got to treat it like a business, so that's what it is. So anyway, hope you guys have a good New Year's. Like my video, subscribe to my channel. The more likes I get, the more views I get, the more clicks, all the algorithm. So have a good, safe New Year's. Don't drink and drive, and I'll see you guys next time.